Hi Gemini, how's it going? I hope you're doing wonderful today. Welcome to my channel, or welcome back to my channel. My name is Lynn, and this is a general reading. I've already cleared the energy of the cards. I'll go through each card with you individually. Always check your sun, moon, rising signs in case you have messages over there. I'm Scorpio, but I have Gemini in my sun sign, and a lot of these messages resonate. So if you want, so it's a collective reading. Just take what resonates, leave the rest. The first card that I asked Spirit was, what energy are you, Gemini, currently bringing into this situation that you may not fully recognize? Okay, and you got the High Priestess, Major Arcana card. So this card suggests that you may be contributing a much deeper, quieter, and more intuitive energy than you realize. So maybe Spirit is saying you know more than you're saying. Gemini is often associated with communication, information, and expression. But the High Priestess points to knowledge that remains unspoken. So it could be saying that you may be holding insights or feelings or observations beneath the surface. Or the High Priestess could be saying that your intuition is influencing the situation. Your intuition is influencing the situation. Even if you're approaching things logically or intellectually, your unconscious wisdom may be guiding your decisions more than you recognize. And the High Priestess could be saying you're creating mystery or uncertainty. Others may perceive you as difficult to read right now. They may think you're being clear, but your energy is coming across as reserved or private or enigmatic. So you're being called to listen rather than act. The High Priestess energy often asks for observation, reflection, and patience. You may be contributing stillness or receptivity or emotional intelligence rather than active movement. There may be hidden information involved, so you could be carrying secrets or subconscious motivations or untapped inner wisdom that is affecting the dynamic. This card doesn't necessarily imply deception. It points to truths that have not yet fully surfaced. So, Gemini, you're bringing an energy of inner knowing, intuition, and silent awareness into your situation. You may not realize how much you already understand on a soul level, or how strongly your unspoken perceptions are shaping events. While you may be looking outward for answers, this card suggests that much of the guidance you need is already within you. So let's just see what the other surrounding cards determine. Okay? The other surrounding cards will determine whether this High Priestess energy is showing up as wisdom or secrecy or emotional restraint or spiritual guidance or waiting for the right moment to reveal the truth. So the second question I asked Spirit for you, Gemini, is what lesson is trying to teach? What is this lesson trying to teach Gemini right now? And you got the Five of Wands reversed. Okay. What lesson is this trying to teach you right now? This card often points to lessons around conflict, competition, resistance, and inner turmoil. So this card is telling you not every battle needs to be fought. When this card comes out upright, it's about struggle, disagreement, competing agendas, and friction. When it comes out reversed, it suggests learning when to disengage from unnecessary conflict. You may be realizing that constantly proving a point or defending yourself or trying to control an outcome is draining your energy. Your inner wisdom already knows which conflicts deserve your attention and which should be released. Okay? Your inner wisdom already knows which conflicts deserve your attention and which should be released. This card could be saying that inner conflict may be the real issue. Inner conflict may be the real issue. Sometimes this card, the Five of Wands reversed, points inward. So you may appear calm externally, but internally you could be wrestling with competing thoughts or fears or desires or perspectives. So the lesson could be something like, stop looking outside yourself for the source of the chaos. Listen to the quieter voice beneath all the mental noise. And happy birthday, by the way, Gemini. I forgot to mention that at the beginning. I hope you have an awesome, awesome year. This aligns strongly with your archetype. Geminis can sometimes get caught between multiple viewpoints or possibilities. The lesson may involve moving away from comparison or rivalry or the need to win. It's cooperation over competition. Whether in relationships, career, or personal growth, you may be learning that harmony comes from alignment rather than competition. This card suggests that true power comes from self-trust, not external validation. Trusting your intuition instead of reacting. When conflict arises, the answer is not to react immediately. The answer is to pause, observe, and trust your deeper knowing. The High Priestess teaches wisdom through stillness, while the reversed Five of Wands teaches wisdom through releasing struggle. So Gemini, you're being taught to step away from unnecessary conflict and mental overwhelm. This situation is showing you that not every disagreement requires a response, and not every challenge requires a fight. The High Priestess reminds you that your intuition already knows the truth. The lesson is to trust your inner guidance instead of getting pulled into external drama, competition, or even inner chaos. Peace comes when you stop forcing and start listening. Just be still. You already know the answer. The struggle is coming from not fully trusting what you know. The third question, Gemini, is I ask Spirit, what are you holding on to that is preventing your growth? And the card that came out is the Magician reversed. So the Magician reversed often points to a misuse or a blockage or a lack of trust in one's own power and ability to create change. So, some ways this could manifest a lack of self-belief. At its core, the Magician, when it comes out upright, it says you have everything you need, but when it comes out reversed, it's saying you may be holding on to a belief that you are missing something. More knowledge, more resources, more certainty, more permission before you can move forward. You may be holding on to a belief that you are missing something before you can move forward. You're missing something, you're missing more knowledge, or you feel like you're missing more resources or more certainty or more permission. The blockage could be waiting for external confirmation instead of recognizing your own capabilities. Maybe you're overthinking instead of acting. Overthinking is just when you don't trust your intuition. Gemini, you're naturally connected to the mental realm, and this card can sometimes indicate getting stuck in ideas or plans or possibilities without taking decisive action. The High Priestess knows and the Magician acts. You may already intuitively know what needs to happen, but you're hesitating to embody that knowledge in the physical world. You're trying to control outcomes. The magician reversed can also appear when someone is attempting to force or manipulate or overly strategize a situation rather than allowing things to unfold naturally. With the Five of Wands reversed, teaching you to release struggle, this could suggest that growth is being blocked by the need to control every variable or predict every outcome. Maybe you're doubting your own intuition. This is one of the strongest themes I see with these cards together. The High Priestess says, trust your inner knowing. And the Magician reversed says, but you may not fully trust yourself enough to act on what you know. And as a result, you may second guess yourself. Or you may seek excessive reassurance. Or some of you may delay important decisions. You're carrying intuitive wisdom, hidden knowledge, and deep awareness. You're learning to release conflict, mental noise, and unnecessary struggle. But you're holding on to self-doubt, hesitation, or overthinking, or a belief that you lack the power to create change. Gemini, you already know more than you're giving yourself credit for. The wisdom you seek isn't outside of you, it's already present. The lesson here is to stop fighting against yourself. Stop engaging with distractions that pull you away from your truth. And recognize where self-doubt has kept you stuck. This card suggests that growth is being delayed not because you lack the tools, but because you're questioning whether you're capable of using them. Your intuition is ahead of your confidence right now. The invitation is to trust what you know and begin acting from that place. You know, both the High Priestess and the Magician are major arcanas. They sit side by side in the Tarot's sequence, almost like two aspects of personal power. The High Priestess is all about inner wisdom, and the Magician is all about outer manifestation. Gemini, you may be comfortable receiving insight, but you're being challenged to translate that insight into action. The growth comes when those two energies become aligned. And then the fourth question I asked Spirit was, what should Gemini focus on over the next 3 months to align with their highest potential? And the card that came out is the Page of Swords reversed. So the Page of Swords reversed suggests a need to become more mindful of how information, thoughts, communication, and curiosity are being used. Focus on quieting mental noise. Gemini, you're ruled by Mercury, and you naturally possess a lot of information. And the Page of Swords reversed can indicate scattered thinking or information overload or anxiety, overanalyzing, or constantly looking for the next piece of information. Stop searching for more answers and start working with the answers you already have. Just like the High Priestess said, the wisdom is already within you. Focus on speaking with intention. The reverse Page of Swords can sometimes point to impulsive communication, misunderstandings, gossip, defensiveness, or speaking before fully processing. So over the next 3 months, you may benefit from asking, is this conversation I'm having productive? Or are you reacting or responding? Ask yourself, am I reacting or responding? Or does this need to be said right now? Ask yourself that in the next 3 months, okay? Focus on discernment. The Page of Swords loves gathering information, but reversed, there can be a tendency to consume too many opinions, too much advice, or conflicting perspectives. Gemini, not every voice deserves equal access to your mind. I love that message for you. I'm just making a note for myself here. I love that. Your highest potential may come from developing stronger boundaries around what information you absorb. Focus on trusting yourself. This is probably the strongest thread running through this entire reading. The reading, the spread, repeatedly points to trusting your inner knowing, releasing internal and external conflict. Stop doubting your power. Stop looking outside yourself for endless answers. You already possess deep intuitive insight. Learn to release conflict, competition, and mental struggle. Self-doubt and hesitation are preventing action. Reduce mental clutter, stop chasing every opinion, and trust your own perspective. Okay? You're being asked to become more selective about where your attention goes. The Page of Swords reversed suggests that too much information, overthinking, or seeking validation from external sources may be pulling you away from your truth. Your highest potential comes from slowing down the mental chatter and strengthening trust in your own wisdom. Not every thought deserves attention, and not every question requires an immediate answer. The focus is on discernment, clarity, and allowing your intuition to guide what your mind can sometimes complicate. One thing that stands out is that this reading has a very strong mind versus intuition theme. Your cards so far suggest that growth is not coming from gathering more data or trying harder to figure everything out. It's coming from trusting what you already know, releasing inner conflict, and acting with confidence instead of doubt. The Page of Swords reversed reinforces that message by highlighting where excessive mental activity may be getting in the way of genuine wisdom. And then the fifth question I asked Spirit was, what hidden influence is affecting this relationship? What hidden influence is affecting this relationship? And the card that came out is the Fool reversed. So the Fool reversed often points to an unseen fear around taking a leap of faith or embracing the unknown or starting a new chapter. So the hidden influence may be fear rather than circumstance. On the surface, there may appear to be other issues in the relationship, but underneath, this card is saying someone could be afraid of vulnerability or commitment or change or taking a risk or leaving the familiar behind or trusting the future. The Fool, when it comes out upright, the Fool upright jumps. The Fool reversed hesitates. So the hidden influence could be someone knows what they want but is afraid of what will happen if they fully pursue it. The Fool reverse can also show up when someone is overthinking every possible outcome. Again, overthinking is just not trusting your intuition, not listening, not paying attention to your intuition. You may be worried about choosing the wrong path or getting hurt or being rejected or losing control. Intuitively, you know. You want peace instead of conflict. You doubt your ability to create the outcome you want. There's a lot of overthinking and mental noise here. There's a fear of taking the next step. There may be a resistance to a new beginning. In a relationship reading, the Fool reversed can sometimes indicate that a fresh start is available, but someone is not embracing it. So what that could mean is someone is holding on to past disappointments, or there's a fear of repeating old patterns, or someone is staying in a comfort zone, or maybe someone is waiting, you or someone in your life is waiting for certainty before moving forward. The irony is that the Fool never has certainty. The Fool moves despite uncertainty. There could also be mistrust of intuition here. The High Priestess says, trust what you know. And the Fool reversed says, but what if I'm wrong? And this creates a tension between your intuition and fear. You have deep inner knowing. You have a lot of deep inner knowing. There may be a fear of taking the leap that your intuition is already pointing toward. A hidden influence affecting this relationship is fear of the unknown. You may intuitively know what you want, yet hesitate to fully step forward because you cannot guarantee the outcome. The Fool reversed suggests that old fears, past disappointments, or a desire for certainty may be creating resistance to growth, while the connection may be asking for trust, vulnerability, or a new beginning. The hidden challenge is the belief that it is safer to stay where things are than to risk stepping into something new. The High Priestess, the Magician, the Fool. Interesting. So what's especially interesting is that you now have 3 major arcana cards in 5 positions. The High Priestess, the Magician reversed, and the Fool reversed. That usually suggests the reading is dealing with a significant soul level lesson rather than just a temporary situation. The central theme emerging is not that you lack direction, it's that you may already know the direction, but fear, doubt, and mental noise are making it difficult to trust and act on that knowledge. And then the 6th question I ask Spirit is, what strength does Gemini possess that they're underestimating? And you got the 9 of Cups. Okay. So the 9 of Cups shifts the energy of the reading from fear and doubt toward recognition of what you already have, working in your favor. So Gemini, you may be underestimating your ability to attract what you desire. The 9 of Cups is often called the wish card. It represents fulfillment, satisfaction, emotional abundance, and the ability to manifest outcomes that align with one's genuine desires. And after seeing the Magician reversed as a blockage, this is very interesting. The Magician reversed said, I don't think I have what it takes. And the 9 of Cups responds, you have more power and support than you realize. Gemini, you may not realize how much you've already accomplished. Sometimes this card appears when someone is so focused on what's missing that they overlook everything they've already built or learned or achieved. This card is telling me your strength may be resilience or emotional growth or personal achievements or the ability to create opportunities or a naturally magnetic energy. Stop measuring yourself by what's not here yet. Look at how far you've already come. The Nine of Cups represents or points to confidence rooted in self-worth. It isn't just about getting what you want. It's about knowing you deserve happiness. Given the self-doubt shown by the Magician reversed and the hesitation shown by the Fool reversed, you may be underestimating your value or your desirability or your ability to create a satisfying outcome or your right to pursue what genuinely makes you happy. It's a card of emotional independence. Another strength of the Nine of Cups is the ability to find fulfillment within oneself. And this is really important because much of the reading has focused on external noise and conflict and uncertainty. The Nine of Cups is saying your power doesn't come from controlling everyone else's actions. It comes from being emotionally anchored within yourself. Okay? So far we have inner wisdom, release struggle, self-doubt, quiet the mind, a fear of taking a leap, and the ability to create fulfillment and trust that happiness is available. If the Fool reversed fears what might happen, the Nine of Cups says, what if things work out better than you expect? If the Magician reversed doubts your power, the Nine of Cups says, look at all the evidence that you're more capable than you think. If the Page of Swords reversed gets trapped in mental spirals, then the Nine of Cups says, come back to what truly satisfies your heart. Gemini, you're underestimating your ability to create a fulfilling outcome. The Nine of Cups suggests you possess a powerful capacity for emotional resilience, manifestation, and personal satisfaction. While recent fears and self-doubt may have made you question yourself, this card reminds you that you have already achieved more than you acknowledge. Your strength lies in knowing what truly makes you happy and having the ability to attract experiences that align with that truth. What you seek may be closer than you realize. The first 5 cards describe obstacles of the mind: doubt, conflict, hesitation, overthinking, and fear. But the Nine of Cups is the first card that says, shift your attention from fear to fulfillment. This is a major turning point in your reading. And then the seventh question I asked Spirit is, what is the next best step for Gemini in their career or life purpose? And you got the Knight of Wands. What is the next best step for you, Gemini, with regards to your career or your life purpose? So the Knight of Wands introduces something that has been largely missing from the reading so far, and that's movement. Okay? So your next step is action. Take inspired action. The Knight of Wands is bold, ambitious. Bold, ambitious, passionate, and willing to move toward an opportunity even before every detail is figured out. This is like a direct response to the Magician, the self-doubt, the overthinking, the fear of taking the leap. The Knight of Wands is saying you have thought about this long enough, and now it's time to move. Follow what energizes you. The Knight of Wands follows passion, purpose, excitement, and inspiration. With regards to your career, this card could indicate starting a project, launching a business idea, applying for opportunities, taking a creative risk, traveling, expanding your horizons, or pursuing something that genuinely excites you. What lights you up is what this card is asking, because that's likely where your life purpose is trying to lead you. It's courage over certainty. One of the strongest themes of the entire spread has been the search for certainty. The Knight of Wands doesn't wait for certainty. He acts because the fire within him is stronger than the fear around him. And this is especially significant considering the Fool reversed appeared as the hidden influence. The Fool reversed is saying there's a fear of the leap, but the Knight of Wands is saying take the leap anyway. Fear, false evidence appearing real. Trust the momentum. You may be looking for a perfect plan, but this card suggests that clarity will come through movement. Sometimes the Knight of Wands says, the path reveals itself as you walk it. You already know. Stop fighting. Stop doubting yourself. Stop overthinking. Stop fearing the unknown. Trust your ability to create fulfillment and move forward boldly. Enough preparation. It's time to begin. The next best step in your career or life purpose is to pursue what ignites your passion and take decisive action toward it. The Knight of Wands indicates that progress comes through courage, initiative, and momentum. You may not have every answer yet, but waiting for perfect certainty could keep you stuck. Trust your instincts. Embrace opportunities that excite you. and allow your confidence to grow through experience rather than preparation. The path ahead may require boldness, but it is through movement that your purpose becomes clearer. You seem to be moving from I sense the direction to now I follow it. That's a powerful arc for a life purpose reading. And then your 8th question I ask Spirit is, what pattern keeps repeating in Gemini's life and how can they break or transform it? And you got the 9 of Wands reversed. This card in this position points directly to a recurring cycle that may have been operating for a long time. What pattern keeps repeating in your life, Gemini, and how can you break or transform it? The 9 of Wands reversed often speaks of exhaustion, defensiveness, expecting disappointment, or carrying old wounds long after the original battle has ended. The repeating pattern is living in survival mode. The upright 9 of Wands is the wounded warrior who keeps standing despite setbacks. But reversed, it can indicate someone who has become so accustomed to protecting themselves that they struggle to fully relax or trust or move forward. So the pattern may look like expecting things to go wrong or preparing for rejection before it happens, or holding on to old disappointments, or becoming guarded after being hurt, or giving up just before a breakthrough, or feeling exhausted by constantly carrying the weight of past experiences. Gemini, you receive intuitive guidance. You begin to move towards something meaningful. Then old fears, doubts, or protective walls activate and slow the process. The transformation here, the message is to put down what no longer needs to be carried. The 9 of Wands reversed is asking you, are you protecting yourself from a current threat or from an old wound? There's a difference. You may be carrying emotional armor that was once necessary, but has now become restrictive. So Spirit is saying that transformation comes through releasing hypervigilance or allowing support from others, or trusting that not every situation will repeat the past, or recognizing when caution has become self-limitation. Another possibility is persistence versus depletion. Sometimes the 9 of Wands reversed can indicate continuing a struggle that has already run its course. With the 5 of Wands reversed, there's a repeated message about ending unnecessary battles. Spirit may be asking you, what are you fighting for that no longer needs to be fought? A repeating pattern for you may be approaching life from a place of self-protection rather than trust. Past disappointments, setbacks, or wounds may have taught you to keep your guard up, expect obstacles, or question whether success and happiness can truly last. The Nine of Wands reversed suggests that this pattern can be transformed by releasing old defenses and recognizing that the past does not have to dictate the future. Strength is no longer found in enduring every battle alone. It's found in knowing when to let go of the armor and move forward with openness and faith. You have wisdom. Blessings and fulfillment are available. There is momentum and opportunity ahead. The obstacles that are showing up are self-doubt, overthinking, a fear of risk, and old defenses. Taken together, the message feels less like you need to become someone else and more like you already possess the insight, desire, and potential to move forward. The transformation comes from releasing the fears and protective patterns that have convinced you that you must keep struggling to be safe. The Nine of Wands reversed is often the moment when the warrior realizes that the battle is over, but they haven't yet put down the shield. And then the ninth question I ask Spirit is, what does Gemini need to know about the path they are currently considering? What do you need to know? What do you need to know, Gemini, about the path that you are currently considering? And you got the Two of Wands. The Two of Wands speaks directly about standing at a crossroads and considering future possibilities. The Two of Wands suggests that the path is real, viable, and full of potential, but it requires a conscious choice to move beyond what is familiar. This path is about expansion. The Two of Wands is often depicted as someone looking out at the world, seeing possibilities beyond their current circumstances. The path you're considering has the potential to take you further than where you are now, but it requires you to think bigger than you have before. This can apply to career opportunities or relationships or relocation or creative projects, spiritual growth. Planning is important, but eventually a decision must be made. Unlike the Knight of Wands, who's already moving, the Two of Wands is still in the planning phase. See the vision, choose the direction. commit, and move toward it. The vision is there. Don't stay in the planning stage forever. The comfort zone may be the real challenge. Throughout your reading, a fear of the unknown has appeared repeatedly. Through the Fool reversed, the Nine of Wands reversed, and the Magician reversed. Maybe the Two of Wands is asking you, are you willing to leave the safety of what you know to discover what's possible? You may already be aware of the path you want, but uncertainty about the future could be making you hesitate. There is more available than you currently see. The Two of Wands is a card of perspective and long-range vision. Don't make this decision based solely on your current circumstances. Consider where this path could lead in 1 year, or 3 years, or 5 years. This card often indicates untapped potential. Choose your future consciously. The path you're considering holds genuine potential for growth, expansion, and new experiences. You're standing at a threshold between what is familiar and what is possible. While careful planning is valuable, the Two of Wands reminds you that opportunities cannot be fully realized through contemplation alone. A decision will eventually be required. The future being shown here appears larger than your current perspective, but reaching it will require confidence, vision, and a willingness to step beyond old limitations. The Two of Wands is much more optimistic than some of the earlier cards. Some of the earlier cards are focused on internal barriers, fear, doubt, mental noise. And the Two of Wands shifts the focus towards possibility. The question is no longer whether you're capable. The question is whether you will choose to trust yourself enough to pursue the future you can already see forming in the distance. The reading started with inner knowing, and now the Two of Wands is asking what you intend to do with that knowledge, that inner knowing. And then the last card is, the last question I ask Spirit is, what message does Gemini's future self most want them to hear today? So Gemini, what does your future self most want you to hear today? And you got the Two of Cups. The Two of Cups centers everything around mutual connection, alignment, and emotional harmony. It's telling you to choose what chooses you back. Don't force what is not mutual, and don't doubt what is already aligned with you. You were never meant to beg for reciprocity. The right connections don't confuse you, they meet you halfway. What was meant for you didn't require you to lose yourself. Emotional alignment is the key. Your future self is essentially saying, stop measuring everything through anxiety or uncertainty. Pay attention to what feels balanced, mutual, and emotionally safe. The Two of Cups is not just romance, it can be a relationship or a partnership or a career alignment or a friendship or even an alignment with yourself, inner harmony. It's a message about reciprocity. There was doubt in self-worth. You're learning you are already enough. There's a fear of stepping forward. There's exhaustion from protecting yourself. And then this card responds with, you don't need to overextend or overthink to be chosen. The right people meet you with the same energy you give. I love that. I'm just making a note of that too. I love that for you. The right people meet you with the right people meet you with the same energy you give. So basically, your future self is saying, I wish you had stopped trying to figure everything out alone. The truth becomes simple when you stop chasing and start recognizing what is already aligned with you. Your future self wants you to remember that the right path, people, and opportunities will feel mutual rather than one-sided. The Two of Cups suggests that alignment is not something you force or overanalyze. It is something you recognize through balance, respect, and emotional reciprocity. You're being guided toward connections and choices that reflect your worth without struggle. What is meant for you will meet you with the same openness and energy that you offer it. The goal was never to struggle your way into clarity. The goal is alignment. When you are on the right path, whether in love, career, or life purpose, it won't feel like constant uncertainty or self-doubt. It will feel mutual, clear, and emotionally balanced. Trust your inner knowing. Release any fear and overthinking. Be bold, act bold, and choose aligned connections and paths. So that's your reading, Gemini. Thank you so much for allowing me to channel these awesome messages today. I hope you receive some guidance, and I'm sending you lots of love and strength. Okay? I'll see you next time. Take care. Bye.